Hi. So this video presents the solution of Pratilipi Assignment, and so basically I'll be walking through the backend as well as the front end of the assignment. So now first begin with the actual website. So first of all, whenever the user first visits the website at localhost 8080, he'll be basically be shown the sign up page where he need to enter the email and password in the correct format because I've implemented inline validators. And after signing up, he'll be going to the dashboard page where he'll be seeing the topmost content sorted according to the likes, and he can basically click at any content and he'll be shown the further details of that content. So basically now I'll start with the sign up process, and I'll be using my email ID and just entering a random password. And by the way, I need to follow all these rules while choosing a password, because if I'll be just missing out any rule, I'll be not able to sign up because the submit button will be in disabled state. So I need to follow all these rules, and I can able to see this using this. Yeah. So basically, this password follows all the rules, and now I'm able to submit the credentials. And also, if I'll be just entering the email ID in the wrong format, so in that case too, the submit button will be in disabled state. So let's put the correct email ID, and now let's submit the. Yeah. So now I'm successfully signed up into the platform, and now I'm seeing the dashboard page. So the dashboard page currently doesn't have any content, and that's because I haven't added any content, and I'll be adding it through the CSV, through the data ingestion process, and which will be shown in the later part of this video. And now what I'm doing is I'll be just logging out from this platform and again signing up through the same email ID and entering the password. And now since I've already been signed up into with this similar ID, I will not able to sign up again because I've already used this email ID. So that's the one part of this application. And also I've implemented universal router guard, which is which basically allows to redirect to a particular route based on some conditions. So let's say if I am not signed up into the platform, and or more precisely, if the token is not present in the local storage according to the scope of this assignment, I'll be not able to go to the dashboard page, and the application will automatically redirect me to the sign up page again. And similarly, if I sign up with another email ID, uh, I'll be moving towards the dashboard page. And if the local storage contains the I can show you, if the local storage contains the user ID key, I'll be successfully that means I've successfully logged in, and now I can't go to the dashboard page because obviously I've signed up into the platform. So now let's move towards the backend part and see what's going behind the scenes. So yeah, backend is basically the microservice architecture which contains two services named as content and user, and each service has its own database along with the API gateway, which is the global express application I've implemented. So this API gateway will basically reroute my request to particular service, so that I only need to call a particular server, so that and later the API gateway does its own work to reroute my request. And basically we can implement more features into the API gateway like rate limiters and authorizations and much more. But for the scope of this assignment, I've just rerouted my request to a particular service. And now I'll be showing you the content microservice. So basically this content microservice contains the MVC pattern. I've created controllers and routes and the models for the databases. So this database contains this schema where the content schema will have story, title, date, published, and likes properties. Now I've created several controllers and routes for the same, and similarly I've also created this followed the similar pattern for the user microservice, which also contains middlewares for validating my email and password. So I've implemented validation both in front end and back end because The front end is just for the UI stuff, but back end is absolutely needed so that no wrong data can reach the servers. And yeah, so now let's try to ingest some data into the database using the ingestion service which I've created. So ingestion API basically takes the demo.csv file, and this is just for the scope of this project. I've created a demo.csv file which basically contains the CSV data which we need to inject. But this whole data will not be injected. So my API will also filter the data according to the user IDs which are actually being present in the user database. So let's say if any of this user ID is present in the user database, it's that is what is being actually added into the database. So, and for the database, I'm using MongoDB. And now let's go to Postman and try. Yeah, so this is the API request which we need to make, and it will ingest the particular data which was present in the demo.csv file. So basically it will pass that CSV file into JSON, and then according to the filter request, it will filter the data and add into the database. So currently let's try to add some data. So yeah, so the response is empty array, which means no data was added into the database, and then that's because no user ID is actually being present. There is no user ID name as these, which is actually being present to the database. So now what we'll do is we'll actually copy the user ID which is actually being present in the database and just paste it over in the CSV file. So let's copy this user ID, which is the object ID. I'll just copy this and paste into different positions. So let's say this, this, this. So I've made 3 content which is actually made by authentic user. And now what I'll do is I'll run this API again. The response as these 3 array of objects, and these are the same objects which I have changed in the CSV file. So now if we look in the content, I'll just refresh it. I'll be able to see these 3 contents. Yeah, so these were the 3 contents, and they are shown in the sorted order based on the likes. As per the scope of this assignment, I've made another API which is the top contents API, which we can see over here. And this API will basically give me the top content based on the likes. So now if I'll just run this API, I'll be getting this in the correct format, which is 210 is the highest number of likes in a content. So this is what I've been shown here. So yeah, we can view the data in the list as well as in the grid format, as well as this whole application is responsive. And also, and after clicking any image, we can actually see the details of that content. So let's say we click in this image, we'll be actually getting the details of that content, which is basically the number of likes and the date of publish and story content. And this is the same data which is actually being added by us or developers into that CSV file. So now let's see how this real-time likes work. So according to the scope of this assignment, I was told to implement real-time likes, and I've used socket.io for this. And if I'll yeah, so let's say I've opened another tab, and I'll be just signing up with just random email ID. Yeah, not now. Yeah, so we can see the both the tabs are means both the accounts are different accounts, and we are using we are getting the same data based on the top content. So now if I click on the like button which is present over here, so it will update in real time to all the clients which are connected to that socket server, which I have implemented in the backend. So let's say I've yeah, okay, it's not been. Yeah, so it's being updated getting updated in real time. We can see that it's all a real time thing. And now let's say if I click over here, it's getting updated. Yeah, and even if I click on the image, I'll be getting the exact details. Yeah, so that's basically it for the assignment solution. I hope you like the solution. Thank you. Thank you.